Where I'm standing here was completely covered in water in 1998. Take a look at this marker over here. Everyone in San Antonio remembers that historic flood. And if it wasn't for this tunnel over here, take a look. This is just one. It's really loud. I'm going to turn it off so you can hear what I'm saying. It's just one of 6 devices a San Antonio woman has had to purchase to keep her apartment cool. It's an issue she's been dealing with since June, and she's reached out to her apartment. Take a look at this pond over here. It's the fullest it's ever been for the homeowners who've owned this place for nearly 3 decades. Now, when that major storm hit San Antonio and other parts of Texas, this pond was full of a lot of fish. He made this, all of this, and he did it with this, a 3D printer, and he's only 12 years old. And that skill led him to this. It's a veteran pin. I don't know about your side of town in Austin, Charles, but in San Antonio on Friday evening, the rain just poured. And even a week before that, we remember that major storm on Thursday. This Veterans Day and Veterans Day weekend will be the first one back on U.S. soil and as a U.S. citizen for a man who once called North Texas home. Well, Dr. Cross, just like the student that you just heard from in San Antonio, these kids are fed up. I mean, it's mass shooting after mass shooting. But he didn't hear, the gunshots. All he saw while he was working making pizzas, he just saw a commotion. He saw people running. Good morning, Charles. Yeah, Valerie has a lot of energy. We're here at camp with Valerie and Heather that you saw here in the story. Now, Valerie, talk to me a little bit about the significance of the shutdown. I mean, you were there, and it's kind of raining. It's starting to rain. So that's we gotta get out of here real quick. When that winter snap hits, they get 5,000 calls in one day, which is surpassing just about all the calls that they get in a week for the AC units. Now, Dr. Cross, we're gonna go inside and start to cool off. I'm gonna send it back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Blessing.
I'm in a part of downtown San Antonio that's oversaturated with the homeless population. I mean, just about every single corner is a service catering to that community. But thanks to a large check, more people impacted by this issue could get off the streets. Valerie Salas is always on the move.
Sorry, I go fast too.
No problem.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
For nearly a decade, she's been hitting the streets to help people get off the pavement.
I'm so excited for you.
Like Mona here.
My sister brother, hello. Name Mark.
She shares that excitement because it wasn't too long ago she was a Mona as well.
I've been out here 2 months.
Not only homelessness, but in 2012, I was eventually committed to SASH, the state hospital, deemed. I lost my kids. When I started using meth in 2011, I really spiraled down quickly.
That lived experience Valerie has as the Director of Homeless Services at Christian Assistance Ministry is one of the many reasons that led to additional funding from the Department of Housing and Urban Development.
San Antonio and Bear are doing everything right here. It's absolutely amazing to see from the perspective that I have regionally, and I think from a national perspective.
The South Alamo Regional Alliance for the Homeless applied for a competitive grant last fall and got it, to the tune of more than $14 million.
Yeah, it's the biggest check that we've seen since a bonus we got to address youth homelessness in 2019, which was for $6.8 million.
This is a very unique grant. This is actually our second round of funding, but it's the first of its kind of grant that addresses homelessness specifically.
HUD's regional administrator for the Southwest says they looked at cities who have the most need and have a plan in place to possibly end it.
So today was a success.
Oh my gosh, huge.
This gives us a chance to be a national model for addressing unsheltered homelessness.
Candace says San Antonio was the first city to reach HUD Secretary Marsha Fudge's House America goal by permanently rehousing 1,600 families.
Every other hour, I want to go in my office and cry.
Valerie says doing this work can take a toll.
No.
How many days is it taking in California? 2 or 3?
But it's in moments like these, getting Mona off the streets and into a Greyhound back to her family in California, is what keeps her going.
You just gotta show up.
Yes,
oh, thank
man.
you, Lord.
Yes.
Praise you. That was amazing. Amazing.
It's an area that's known as one of the roughest parts of San Antonio. But despite that, people young and old are still finding a glimmer of hope through Taekwondo. Luis Arriaga has lived in Denver Heights for a while.
About 10 years.
How you doing?
The Eastside San Antonio neighborhood is all his 10-year-old daughter has ever known.
It's pretty good.
But fortunately for Sophia, she hasn't experienced what her dad has. He used to live on the south side of San Antonio.
About 4 bullet holes. One right here, came out through here, and then 1 in the ribs, 2 in the leg. Shot at me. That's what made me move from there. came over here to the east side, thought it was going to be better. And I ended up getting shot in the east side too.
Oh, okay.
According to the San Antonio Police Department, the city saw an increase in violent crime from 2021 to 2022. A change in the way SAPD reported crime as of November 2020 also played a part in the uptick.
High crime, shooting, killing, prostitution. You know, everything's out here happening real terribly.
Rosie Baca and her fellow community organizers are just some of the people who can attest to what's happening on these streets.
This is an area where they used to dump bodies.
They're with Neighborhood First Alliance, a group that has been around since the early 70s.
We ask criminals what is it that they're afraid of and what they're scared of. And you know what they tell us? We don't like an organized neighborhood, and so that's what we do.
You're right about that.
They're boots on the ground, working to strengthen communities, get neighbors talking.
This is a hotspot card that we use.
And end crime, one block at a time. Julia Valdez is also trying to do that, but with a punch and a kick.
I figured when we put the school here that this was an area that really needed something like this. A lot of the kids here don't get this kind of opportunity. You have to literally travel, to the north side in order to get something close to this.
In 2020, he opened Colossal Taekwondo in Denver Heights and says it has been a hit, literally.
Other schools come and learn from us. So it's really a nice feeling to make champions out of kids from the hood.
One of those champions being Sophia.
I won a lot of trophies and medals.
She's hoping to win some more this summer as they prep for Nationals and Junior Olympics in July.
1, 2, down.
An opportunity Luis says he didn't have growing up, but grateful his daughter gets a chance to experience living on the east side. ¿Cómo se dice, or how do you say Spanish spelling bee? Yeah, it's a thing here in San Antonio, and it's a tradition that spans decades, but there's something new this year. La Cruz! 5-year-old Valentin de la Cruz is a man of few words. Still pretty shy. But give the San Antonio kindergartner a microphone and some Spanish words to spell out, and you watch this little guy just light up with confidence.
Papa.
This self-assurance in being able to boldly speak and spell in Spanish at such a young age is a quality older San Antonians say they didn't have growing up.
No, not that to my knowledge. I did not experience any of that. So for me, even as a teacher in the district, was the first time I saw it, lived it.
Latino that actually were forced to lose their Spanish many years ago.
I don't remember ever learning to spell or read in Spanish at all. Nor was it something that was celebrated in order for me to, to get ahead and, in my case, get out of the hood, right? Get out of the barrio, right? It was learn English as quickly as possible, and it's something that a lot of our parents still feel.
Esmeralda Alday is one of the people in the district who helped make this event happen.
For me, it's healing wounds from my childhood.
Since 1998, San Antonio ISD has held a Spanish spelling bee for elementary, middle, and high schoolers. 25 years later, the Latino population in the Alamo City and Lone Star State has grown tremendously. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, summer of 2022, Latinos officially became the largest ethnic group in Texas. However, being the majority doesn't necessarily translate into equity.
Progress that we need to make. Even on the website, we've got the Spanish spelling bee written out in English. So again, we have these systems and structures in place that continue to perpetuate that English is the dominant language.
New this year, pre-K to second graders were added to the long-standing tradition.
The teachers were on board, said yes.
Giving young spellers like De La Cruz here a shot at some new bling. 1, 2, 3. For the culture, for the cultura. In San Antonio, I'm Blessing Iwuchukwu.